I met you on the first night. I think it changed my whole life in ways I don't know yet, Oh, I left the party smiling, but feeling so enchanted. And I didn't know that, all fear would fly to the moon to see the way you're lighting up the sky of black. I love you to the moon.
Hello, and it's a very warm welcome from Point Blank Music School here in London. Thank you so much indeed for joining us today. My name is John, and I'm one of the course advisors here. I'm going to be bringing you through the event today, and I'm very happy to be joined by Mr. Alex Wood. Alex, great to see you.
Thank you for inviting me.
No worries, thanks for giving us your time today. So Alex is not only an amazing vocalist, producer and musician, but he's also the program leader for our music production and vocal performance degree, which is a course that we're here to talk about today. So the idea is just to kind of give you as much information as we can about the program. A little bit later on, we'll have a chat with Alex, find out a bit more about his background and yeah, what you can kind of expect from coming and studying on the course. Then later, we've got a very special guest, one of our recent graduates called Grace Bevan, who's going to do an actual live performance for us. So make sure that you hang around for that. It's going to be fantastic. As well as that, we're here in our London campus broadcasting, but we've got viewers joining us from all over the world. So you'll see on the right-hand side of your screen, we have a little chat window. If you have any questions at all, please do get them in there. My colleague Luke is behind the scenes at the moment answering some of your questions. And we'll also have a Q&A with myself and Alex a little bit later on. And yeah, do let us know where you're tuning in from as well. We'll give you a bit of a shout out. So to kick us off, I just wanted to play you a short video just to kind of give you a bit of an overview about the degree itself. So check this out and we'll meet back in just a few moments.
This degree is primarily for two types of people, either for singers who want to learn how to produce and develop independence from other producers and other people working so they can record and create their own work. It's also for music producers who want to develop their vocal skills, either so that they can work more effectively with vocalists or so that they can record themselves and start putting ideas onto their own tracks as well. In the first instance, they're going to learn the basics of vocal performance technique, posture, singing in tune, breathing, all this stuff so that they can enhance and make the most of their singing voice. They also learn vocal musicianship, which is sort of studying singers and songwriters and vocal music styles through the eras, just so that they can apply that historical knowledge to all their creative stuff. In the second year, the specialist modules are songwriting and lyrics, which delves a little bit more into song form and particularly the art of writing lyrics for vocalists. Alongside that, they'll also do live vocal techniques in the second year, and that will involve basically preparing for performing on stage, so a bit more about performance movement, lighting, understanding a little bit about PA, and putting together a bit more of a larger set, if you like. And then in the third year, the specialist modules that they'll do will be Showcase, which is the summation of all of their sort of composition and performance work, and they can sort of sell themselves as artists to the world, get industry in, do something in an external venue. And also they'll do a module on session singing and improvisation, which is essentially getting them working with studio engineers as artists, going in, top-lining tracks, making up and improvising backing vocals, all that sort of stuff. So just trying to enhance their abilities as vocalists, but also widen their career possibilities as well. There's a huge range of careers that we're preparing you for. The idea is that, you know, the current music industry, it's very difficult to sort of just make your way as one specific job role. And so this whole idea of having a portfolio career or side hustles, if you like, to make sure that you're always able to work and work effectively is really important. And we've kind of built that into the course to make sure that you're sort of ready to take opportunities wherever they come in a range of different fields.
The lecturers in the module and generally in Point Blank, they are all industry professionals, so none of us are full-time teachers or university lecturers. We rock up in Point Blank and we teach the students what we do every day outside of Point Blank.
It's not going to just end in the classroom. You'll find that different collaborations brings out something
different each time.
The whole idea is working with your peers, working with other people that need your skills in terms of a project. Alongside that, we've got loads of guest lecturers and also opportunities for sort of working with people in the industry. One thing that we've heard from all of the students that have applied is that it's quite unique. There isn't another course out there that offers exactly the same fit of modules, and a lot of them have said this is exactly what we're looking for. So hopefully it's exactly what you're looking for too. Come and join us.
Amazing stuff. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview of what you can expect on the course. Obviously that's just a very short snippet of what Alex and his team teaches. So we're going to go into it in a lot more detail, don't worry. Just a couple of quick shout outs while we're here. I see we've got Pat joining us from Switzerland. Pat, great to hear from you. I think we've been speaking already actually, so thanks for joining us today. And Occupus from Poland, Dzień dobry, you're very welcome as well. Anyone else, please do let us know where you're coming and joining us from. We'll give you a shout out in just a little bit. And don't forget, any questions that you have at all, get them in that chat room. So next up, what I wanted to do is have a look at the actual degree itself in a bit more detail, a bit more kind of an overview really. So it's a Bachelor of Arts in Music Production and Vocal Performance with honours, which is validated by our partner, Middlesex University. So basically what that means is that we actually, Alex and his team, I should say, actually write and deliver all of the courses in the campus here in central London. So we do all of the teaching here ourselves, but the qualification itself is validated by Middlesex, who are a larger university. So what that means is that at the end of the actual course, you can get a Middlesex award just to prove all of the hard work that you've done over the 2 or 3 years. And you get a globally recognised qualification as well. You can even get the cap and gown and go to the graduation ceremony. Alex, have you been to the Middlesex graduation?
I haven't been to the Middlesex one, unfortunately, but I have done others.
Okay, great. Well, maybe this summer you'll be able to go out with some of our vocal students to celebrate all of their great achievements. So we have 2 different pathways available for our degree programme. We have a more traditional 3-year pathway. So if you think about a traditional academic year where you start in, say, September and run until the summer, then you would have a break of about 3 months where you can do some travelling or hit the festival season, whatever it is that you're looking to do. Then you come back in for your second year from the following September. But we also have what's called an accelerated 2-year pathway. Basically what that means is, as opposed to having longer breaks in between, you would be studying for 24 months concurrently. So the actual course and everything that you cover is identical. It just means that you would finish it in a more intensive way in a shorter space of time and get you out into the industry a little bit quicker, basically. So for our degree pathways, we have our September start date, but we also have an April start date for anyone who is maybe looking to start a little bit sooner. You don't necessarily need to wait until the end of the year. We are still currently reviewing applications for anyone who is thinking of joining us. Just a reminder for anyone who may be going and applying through UCAS, the deadline is the 29th of January, so that's next week. Don't delay, get your applications in ASAP. We'll be very happy to have a look at them. So let's have a little look at the study modes and the timetable. So it's a full-time programme. Normally you would have between 2 and 3 days of actual classroom lectures each week, but then outside of that you'll be given loads of different projects and assignments to work on, both from the creative production side, but also more on the performance-based side of things as well. So with that in mind, the studios are open 7 days a week, and it's really encouraged to come in outside of your class time to make use of the facilities, work on your tracks, network, collaborate with other students as well. We're a little bit different from some other universities, whereas we don't teach in like large lecture halls. The idea being is that we cap our classes at 16 students for the more production-based ones, and then 12 students for more of the vocal-based ones. I think the idea is, particularly with the vocal side of things, you need a lot more individual attention to sort of help improve your overall singing ability. So that's why we really want to help our students just get the most out of it, because I'm sure, Alex, you probably noticed that people are coming from different backgrounds and have different experience levels. So it's good to have this individual time to help kind of build on that, essentially, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think always if you've got as an individual student a bit of time put aside with your lecturer, and the more you can get that, the more we can tailor what we teach and support you and help you. Because I think, yeah, we've got students in all different states of their journey, some super advanced in one area, but really green in another discipline. And so having that opportunity to bring everybody up to the same level and the same speed in all of the different areas that we teach them is really helpful. So,
100%. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at here. The studio time, of course, and the one-on-one sessions that you have with your lecturers, but we also have a team of what we call our technicians who are also available. So if your lecturer is tied up with a different class, for example, there's still always availability with some members of staff to help you just drill down on anything that you're kind of looking to improve on. You'll never be left alone. There's always help from everyone that works here at Point Blank. As well as that, all our students get access to our world-class virtual learning environment, or VLE. So this is basically where you can log in on your phone or a laptop from anywhere in the world, and you'll have access to all your course notes. You can book out the studios, book out the one-on-one time. So even if you're on the go, you can still kind of keep up with your course notes from anywhere, wherever you may be traveling. We've loads of different kind of guest lecturers and events. We'll be going through that in a little bit more detail, but this is a huge part of it too. And of course, our student services and wellbeing teams and counselling services, just to help our students with anything while you come and study with us, I should say. One thing that we like to talk about in Point Blank is when you come and become one of our students, you'll be part of what we like to call the Point Blank ecosystem. So I suppose a good way to kind of think about that is like a microcosm of the music industry as a whole. So it's all about being surrounded by like-minded individuals, not just necessarily being, singers and producers, but other people as well, like, sound engineers, people who will be starting their own companies within the industry, publishers, record labels, content creators, composers. You can see there's loads of different avenues because, as we always say, Alex, to all of our students, networking and collaborating is such a huge, important part of it, from whatever level you're in your own careers, to help get you to the next stage. So yeah, it's really all about kind of connecting you to the industry. We do this in a number of different ways. So outside of the actual class time, we also have loads of different events to be able to kind of showcase your music. So we have things, for example, like, singer-producer meetups. You might be a vocalist who's, writing some new music, want to work with some new singers, or the other way around, you might be a producer, want to collaborate with some singers and vocalists to do some top line for you, or even just producers playing tracks to each other to feed in is a really big part of it. Even just last week, we had our label showcase, which was fantastic. It was in the hub here just behind us, where we had some of our students and people on the record label come in and do a live performance in the hub, which was fantastic. I've been doing this job a long time, and the people who I see come through these doors who are the most successful are the ones who really take advantage of not just the actual classes, but all of the extra events, the access to the industry as well, the master classes. So you can see we've got people here who've come in the last sort of 12 months, such as Rudimental, Dennis Sultra, Salma Abdulhadi, to name just but a few. So definitely, if you do come and study with us, take advantage of all of these opportunities to see people, and get the experience from people who are making waves within the industry. As well as that, we partner with a lot of the biggest names out there, people like Logic and Ableton, of course, other companies like SSL. We've got a range of different mixing consoles in our studios here. Pioneer DJ, they kit out our DJ studios, Tidal, Waves, Beatport, etc. We really want our students to be working on the latest equipment that you'll be working with in the real world. So yeah, of course, we are broadcasting live for people who may not have had a chance to kind of come in and see the facilities yet. If you are local or you're going to be around London or the UK, please do come in and check it out. We have open days pretty much every month. The next one's going to be coming up on the 22nd of March, but we also have weekly tours on Thursdays as well. So if you're going to be around, do let us know. We'd love to show you. And yeah, just to find out a bit more, check out the studios. But in the meantime, we've got an awesome new video that I wanted to play for you, just to kind of give you an idea of, the facilities that we have here. And everyone loves a cool drone shot, don't they? So please check this out, and we'll be back in just a moment. Amazing. Really hope you enjoyed that video. That was a very fun day when we had the drones in, as you can imagine, and video came out fantastic. It's, believe it or not, even better in real life. So do try and come in and check out the facilities if you're nearby or if you're going to be traveling through London. Yeah, just before we move on, just wanted to give a couple more shout outs. We got Dabuga from Ireland. We probably know each other. Great to have you joining us today. Thank you very much. Gifu Boy in Japan. Gifu Boy, I think, has stayed up very late to watch all of these webinars. So thank you very much for joining us. We got Danny and Biker up in the Toon, and Daniel in Copenhagen. You were all very welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. I can see we've got some questions coming in as well. Keep them coming. We're going to be answering them in just a little while in the Q&A section. But next up, wanted to have a chat with Alex. So one of, in my opinion, the most important things about what we do here at Point Blank is the level of our lecturers. And it's really important to us that, you know, our students aren't just being taught by people who are like professors or, you know, work for universities or whatever. It's for people who are, you know, have been working in the industry for a very long time and are still very much active in the industry. And of course, Alex is no different. What we love to do with these kind of sections is just to find out a bit more about your background, how you got started and what drew you to music originally, really.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I've always loved music. You know, just my first memories of music were travelling in the car with my dad and just listening to all those cool 80s tunes. But in terms of sort of my music journey, I guess I started the way many people do at primary school, learning, making a racket on recorder and violin. And then sort of, as I went through school, took every opportunity to sing in every choir and perform in every instrumental ensemble I could possibly lay my hands on. I think just because I always found it fun, really, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, as I went through, I sort of realised, oh, actually, this is something that I could do as a career. And although I loved science, music was my sort of passion, if you like. And so it sort of turned out that I ended up studying, because when I went to university there wasn't much in the way of music tech or production courses, so I went and did classical music. But whilst I was there, learnt a load of stuff about production and studio composition. And then once I came out the other end, I started working as a professional trombonist and also working as a violinist in a string quartet. Wow. And I did sort of quite a lot of stuff with pit bands and things like that, as well as, you know, doing peripatetic teaching as well. But then started to get into studio work, and happened to be in the right place at the right time. Guy approached me, saw me recording a gig, and just said, "Oh, you know, I'm looking for a recording engineer. You know how to use a recording studio?" Yeah, it's fine, mate. Yeah. Never done a multi-track recording session in my life.
Learn on the job.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So I got dragged in, and yeah, it was a London recording studio. We did sort of. There was two of us who engineered the place. I stayed there for about 6-7 years. And did everything from sort of like radio voiceovers, hip hop artists, to heavy metal bands, and a couple of musical theatre recordings as well. All sorts of different stuff, you know, mixing and mastering. So, yeah, just sort of fell into it, if you like. But that was perfect for me because it balanced up my love of music as well as sort of meeting my sort of real geekiness and love of kit and tech and all that sort of stuff. So
incredible stuff. Brilliant. Yeah, like obviously really kind of varied career. I mean, you said it yourself, in fact, in the video earlier about kind of having a portfolio career, which is something that basically all of our lectures we always talk about here. It's not just about being necessarily single focused, but you know, having as many different skill sets as possible makes you more employable. But we'll go through all that in just a little while anyway. So I think what we'll do is we'll dive into the degree in a bit more detail, but just sort of before we do, you know, who would be kind of a typical student on this program, if there is such a thing?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. I mean, we sort of designed it with different people in mind. We didn't want to have just one type of student necessarily fitting for. So the two sort of main areas we were looking at was for vocalists, particularly it became clear over lockdown and COVID that people wanted to take more control of their own production and material, and also have the understanding and agency to kind of do their own thing. And so we wanted to give vocalists a degree that not only developed their singing capability and their composing capability, but also gave them the confidence to produce, mix, and record all their own stuff as well. But we also wanted to make it suitable for people who wanted to develop as producers who are already perhaps skilled writers, and maybe rapped a bit or sung a bit, but wanted to kind of have the opportunity to really develop those skills, but at the same time also do a degree that helped them develop their music industry nous and also take their production to the next level as well. So it's kind of, you can come to it from either direction, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one thing that we've heard for years, is that people want to be more kind of, I guess, self-sufficient, to not necessarily need to rely on other people, but to be able to collaborate with other people is obviously a really big part of it as well. So yeah, let's just dive in. Let's have a look at year 1 or level 4, as we say in the HE worlds. So yeah, what kind of stuff are we covering here?
So generally speaking, your year 1 or level 4 is kind of, we're trying to get everyone up to a certain level of the basics. And what we've done is exactly that broad sort of range of different topics that we think you could possibly need to cover. So music production's obviously getting you up to speed on a DAW, whether it's Logic or Ableton, so you really know the ins and outs of it. And I think that's really, really important. Obviously, some people are super experienced, but some people haven't really picked up a DAW at all. And so we need to make sure that, because so many of the other modules that we have build on those skills, that everyone's got that sort of confidence to use them. Vocal performance is sort of like the start of your singing journey, if you like. And again, for some of our students, this is their very first formal teaching. I mean, some students have gone through and had, the music teachers and done the musical theatre stuff and all the rest of it, but some of them have sung in the shower, but have brilliant voices, but just haven't developed them. So this is sort of encouraging students to learn how to develop their voice in a sort of critical and consistent way. So you build your practice routine, you understand a little bit about your vocal anatomy, and how to sort of just get better and improve as a vocalist. Music composition, there's a bit of DAW skills in there, but most of it's about the bit nuts and bolts, chords, structure, melody, how to write a tune.
Regardless of what type of music you make, and it's all about the compositional aspects are so important, really.
Absolutely, and they apply to any genre. As long as you know the basics, that is again a foundation on which you can build your own style and your own ideas. But that's what we cover in there. Vocal musicianship is a little bit more based around understanding the background and history of some vocal music styles. So we sort of go through chronologically everything from sort of like blues and jazz right the way through to sort of like grime and drill music, and just look at some of the production elements, some of the historical and cultural elements of those genres, and sort of musically what goes on with them and how they're put together. So that's quite interesting, and some iconic artists and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Music industry is more about how the music industry is structured. So what bodies are there, who does what, a little bit about job roles, a little bit about rights and performing royalties and that sort of stuff. So that's a little bit more about the business end of things, as you would expect, getting paid, that sort of thing. So I think it's really important, particularly if you're acting broadly alone, an understanding of like the sort of commercial structure and streams in terms of the industry is really important.
Yeah.
And then rounding off, level 4, we've got sound engineering. So that's like
getting into the studio.
Yeah, exactly, which is my favourite thing. But yeah, getting to use a large format desk, learning the basics of signal flow and routing, how microphones work, recording some different ensembles, and then a little bit of basic mixing. But mostly it's all about getting stuff onto that DAW and how to make it sound good.
Looked really comprehensive so far. I mean, what kind of level should a student expect to be at after the first year?
Well, I think what we hope is that they'll be confident to use these skills. Yeah. Obviously, the idea being is that at level 5, we'll then take them and try and encourage them to be a bit more creative with them. But the idea at level 4 is you've gone through these different areas, you understand now what they're about, how to utilise some of your technical skills and practical skills. But yeah, you won't necessarily be the complete article, but the idea is at least you should be able to then tackle the next stage with confidence.
Excellent. So yeah, let's have a look then. It leads nicely into year 2 or level 5.
So yeah, this is sort of in many ways my favourite year, I think, because you're not quite at the end, so you're not got all the business end sort of stuff to deal with and all the big major projects and that. But level 5 is the time where you sort of carry on and the sort of topics that you started at level 4 and really sort of expand on them and do either things in greater detail or perhaps things that are a little bit more free and creative. So studio vocal production, which is my module, is the first one we do. That's all about focusing in specifically about recording and mixing vocals in the studio environment. We'll go through mics and preamps and tuning and timing and all of the things that you need to create and hone a professional sounding vocal. So I love that, and that's the one that I particularly teach. But we've got songwriting and lyrics.
Yeah.
So that sort of builds on music composition, but then looks specifically more at song form. So it's like, okay, here's verses, choruses, bridges, middle eights, pre-choruses. Here's how to think about perspective.
Structure, I suppose, is probably a huge part too.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. And some of the sort of techniques and ways that you can sort of build modulation variation into your structure. But we'll look at also tense and rhyming and scansion in lyrics as well. So sort of encouraging people to start to get a little bit more analytical and technical about the way they approach lyrics as well, because that can be really hard, because it's a bit like writing poetry. You're almost waiting for inspiration to strike.
Sure.
But actually this will give you some building blocks again to go, here's an idea, let's work this through.
Or like the Beatles chopping up newspapers and throwing it down to try and get lyrics.
Yeah, which is really cool, actually, you know, definitely. But so yeah, it's trying again get people to grapple with lyrics, particularly from a compositional point of view. Art of mixing, so that will take on sort of the knowledge you've learned in studio vocal production and also sound engineering, but looking more at mixing whole tracks.
Sure.
So how to combine
really important part too.
tracks together. You know, super geeky, but lots of fun. Electronic music performance, that's really exciting.
This is probably my favourite module in this year, I think. It's, you know, I just love seeing the projects that our students come out with. But yeah, tell us about it.
Oh, it's great. I mean, there's a lot of different angles you can take on this. You know, it can go from building an Ableton Live set and then triggering things and playing live synth pads and triggering samples, or it can be singing through a mic, using a number of foot pedals and sort of almost triggering and performing something live instead. So you can use all sorts of different analog technology if you want to, but the idea being is that we want to encourage singers to sort of take a step beyond the basics of, I've got a mic, I've got a backing track, this is how it sounds. It's like, how can you build interest and difference into your performance? You know, there's some great artists that do that live and sort of really made a name for it. So we want to try and encourage our students to do that as well.
Absolutely.
Got marketing and branding. So that's a little bit more about if you're an artist or if you're creating an event, it needs to have a solid identity. People need to know who you are. So this is just teaching you those tips and tricks of getting a brand, developing that brand, building awareness of that brand. And then live vocal techniques is looking more at live performance. So where vocal performance in level 4 was about developing your technique and practice routines, live vocal techniques is about, okay, now you've got to get up on stage, sing a few songs together, you've got to move, you've got to talk to an audience, how's that going to work? But also there's an element within it as well of understanding how a PA is put together, what the format of a gig is, how do you do a sound check, how do you talk to the engineer? So it's about surviving in a live performance environment, not just as a performer, but also from a technical and logistical point of view.
Really,
as well.
really useful stuff. That's great. And then we'll have a look at year 3. This is where it starts getting quite serious.
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously you've been studying with us for 2 years or 2 levels already, so you'll have a lot of sort of knowledge and skills already to build on. And a lot of these modules are continuations of those pathways, basically. But the idea being here is that it's a little bit less taught, it's a little bit more independent. So students at level 6 typically have a bit more control over what they want to create as part of their assignment work, and also can sort of go off on slightly different tangents if that suits them. Because the idea being is that this is almost like your first year of work as much as it is your last year of your degree.
Right, okay.
A lot of the sort of assignments are built towards building a portfolio or building a show reel or putting on an event that brings people to you and creates awareness about you. So we're trying to give you these assets to then you can sort of, when you come out of the degree, go, okay, I can now use this to send an email with my links to X, Y, and Z person.
I presume this is the showcase. Is that kind of what we're looking at in this one in particular? Or?
Yeah, so showcase is a performance-based module. So that one's students will do like a 20-minute set, but they'll get into teams in their groups and they'll book an external venue. So they'll have to liaise with the venue, you know, looking at security, engineers, dry hire, curfew, loading time, all that fun stuff, as well as doing the performance and then promoting the event as well. So that one's a great one, but the idea being is that they can use that to sort of invite people and get people to come and see them as artists. Professional portfolio, they're building their own sort of, generally an EP. It's a larger extended research type project.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of having something kind of tangible by the end of the course to show all the hard work that the students have done, right?
Absolutely, and that's why you'll often see sort of maybe composition portfolios or EPs are particularly popular in terms of that. Session singing and improvisation also supports that, where we get our students to create a show reel. So they have to collaborate using our ecosystem with some of our engineers or other singers. They put together a singing show reel, possibly a video, their bio, their EPK. So that encourages them to create that sort of calling card, if you like, that they can sort of show what they can do. But it also gives them skills in terms of trying out ideas within the studio. So they learn, okay, I've got my lead line. How am I going to build a harmony on this? And it looks at techniques for building harmonies and backing vocals, ad-libs, all that sort of stuff as well. So it's giving them confidence in that field as well.
Brilliant stuff. And yeah, I mean, just kind of having a look at, you know, some of the different kind of careers you can sort of follow. I know we touched on it a little bit earlier about the events and things, but I know outside of class we also have loads of kind of opportunities for performances in particular, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying, obviously, to encourage our students to perform not just as part of the course, but more broadly. So we have on a Monday night, we have a regular choir that meets up with Jay, one of our tutors. And the students get the opportunity there to try out repertoire and put on a gig every term, which has been in lots of different external venues, but now we use our lovely in-house hub, which is fantastic. It sounds brilliant.
We're backstage at the moment.
Yes, indeed. We also have once every other week, Phil Ramacon, another one of our amazing vocal lecturers. He runs a open night at the Stag's Head as well.
Just around the corner from where we're based,
Which is a great opportunity. Again, open mics are a critical part of a vocalist sort of development. Just building that confidence, being on stage, trying things out in a safe and sort of more partisan environment. So yeah, it's great stuff to get involved in.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess I'm sure you would agree, the more experience you get in front of a crowd, the more confidence you'll build, the better performer you'll ultimately be, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, preparation and experience are the two ways to deal with nerves in the most straightforward way, definitely. So
brilliant. So I'm not sure if you can see on your screen there, we've got some kind of ideas of the different career pathways that you could potentially follow. One of the things I really like about this program is that it covers so many different things. So you might be a vocalist already, but want to improve on other things. And there could be things you could do within the industry you're not necessarily thinking about right now, like more studio-based stuff that, like Alex mentioned before, he was coming from a musician background, but then got into the studio work. Or maybe you might just get bitten by the sort of industry bug. You'll have the skill sets to be able to kind of, work at a label, for example, or to help develop yourself, of course, but if you wanted to work with other artists as well. So it's really about just kind of having as many of these different sort of streams to get yourself out there. One of the things that we always try and do in our courses, you may see that we have a number of different sort of programs that specialize in different topics, all based around music production, of course, but this one is more vocal led. But we really want to get our different students working together. So like the vocalists with the sound engineers, with the producers, with the DJ, etc., because that's a really big part of it. And we've got like a little demonstration of an event that we did not too long ago, where we got some of our performers working with the engineers and with the radio students to put on a kind of a live lounge show. So I'm going to play that for you in just a sec. Afterwards, we're going to have an in-house live performance from one of our recent graduates, so make sure you hang around for that. But for now, check this out and we'll meet back in just a little bit.
Hello and welcome, I'm Chris.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is Point Blank Live Sessions.
Too high, I can't come down. It's in the air, it's over nothing but didn't take care of me. I'm
It's been a hot sec since I dropped lyrics, and everyone around me is a hip-hop cynic. So get with it, cause my sets are the sickest. I'm slick Rick and have to say.
Amazing stuff. Just wanted to say very quickly, thanks so much for all the questions that have come in. We're going to get to them in just a little while. But without further ado, we're very excited to have one of our recent graduates, Grace Bevan, who's going to do a live performance with us. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So we'll hand it over and then we'll meet back up in just a sec. So please sit back and enjoy.
You won't play right. I used to know, but now that shit don't feel right. It made me put away my pride. Whoa, so long you made a girl wait for so long. You made it hard for point like that to go on. I'm wishing I could make this mine. Whoa, if you want it, hey, you can have it. And if you need it, well, we can make it. And if you want it, you can have it. But stay woke, cause people creeping, and they're gonna find you, they're gonna catch you sleeping. Ooh, stay woke, people creeping. Now don't close your eyes, too late. You made it hard for me and now it's too late. My peanut butter chocolate cake with Kool-Aid. I'm trying not to waste my time. Whoa, if you want it, hey, well you can have it. And if you need it, well we can make it. And if you want it, well you can have it. But stay woke, cause people creeping, and they're gonna find you, they're gonna catch you sleeping. Ooh, stay woke, people creeping. Now don't close your eyes. Whoa, ooh, yeah. Thank you.
Incredible,
Hey.
incredible. Grace, fantastic. Come on over, grab a seat. Here you go, that's for you.
Thank you so much.
How was that?
That was good.
That sounded amazing.
Oh, thank you
I
so
love
much.
that song so much. I've never heard it acoustic before. It sounds
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
So thanks very much, first of all, for being here.
You're welcome.
And just wanted to borrow you for a little while. I know
Absolutely.
you've recently graduated. You finished last October, right?
Yes.
That's great. So I guess kind of like Alex, how did you sort of get into music? What started you on your path?
As Alex mentioned, I think there's a few different types of students. I was very much a shower singer. So I just grew up loving music and always wanted to sing, but I was just so nervous. Up until literally 2 years ago, I'd never sang in front of anybody, but I really, really wanted to. So yeah, singing and music for me was like a personal thing. I didn't do it at school, But I got to like 24, 25, and I was like, I've got to do this. It's my calling. So then discovered you guys, and yeah, here I am.
Incredible. So, just out of curiosity, did you have a favourite module while you were studying, or one that was, you know, a little bit out of your wheelhouse that you felt was really kind of helpful?
Yeah, I think for me, EMP,
Yeah.
electronic music performance, because I'd never done anything like that, and I didn't think I was capable of doing anything like that. But I learned so much, learned new skills, learned how to use Ableton Live, like the push to. And obviously today I just did it with the backing track, but it really sort of helped me with, just live performance really, and having those extra skills that I probably wouldn't have had before.
Great, great.
Yeah.
How was your first ever performance? Like when you started with us, was that the first time kind of singing in front of an audience?
Yeah, what I will say about I think it's the first time, Alex, is it vocal performance?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that space, the environment that Point Blank made for vocal students just made me feel so relaxed and so calm. And it just felt like such a supportive environment. So if anyone is out there that's nervous like me, I can assure you that being in that environment is, it just made me feel very safe to experiment. And there are no mistakes really. You're just learning, and you can only get better. So I don't know if I answered your question there, but I just went off on a tangent.
I think I asked you about your first performance, and it sounds like it went well, right?
Sorry, yes, no, it did. I felt so relaxed because of that environment. So
that's great. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, people come in at different levels. Some people have, you know, loads of vocal experience. Some people may be coming from more of a singer-songwriter kind of background. Doesn't really matter. It's just about kind of building on that skill set to, get that experience under your belt. Fantastic. I know you mentioned to me earlier after you finished, you took a well-deserved holiday. Since you've been back, what kind of stuff have you been working on?
I'm currently working on my EP. Right. So a lot of the friends that I met at Point Blank are producers, writers, and honestly, the networking here has been next level. So I'm collaborating with a lot of my friends, basically, that I met here, and working on my EP.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have a timeline? When can we expect to hear it?
I'd really like it. I know this is so vague, but I'd really like it to be out by the summer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, at least, I say the whole thing, at least 2 singles by then.
Okay, that's great. Well, look, we will absolutely keep up with you, and we will shout about it as soon as it comes out. That's brilliant. I think one more round of applause for Grace. That was amazing. Thank you so much indeed, and thanks for having a little chat with us as well. So, if this seems like the kind of stuff that you want to learn, get your application across to us. So look, we're going to jump right into our Q&A section. Big thank you to everybody who's got some questions in. Not so much a question, but a comment from Relaxable. Oh my God, Point Blank is amazing. We like to think so, but thank you very much for putting that in the chat room. But yeah, we have a question here from Officially TZ. Great to see you again. I think you've come to a few of these events, which is brilliant. So they say, I rap, I've never had any singing lessons. How does that work with audition process once I've applied? Alex, that's probably a really good one for you.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, we were very mindful when we created this degree that there are a lot of people who can rap and who can produce, but don't fit into a typical music performance degree because they always are forced into just having to sing. Or they end up quite often having to just do a music production degree and put almost like they're rapping on a back burner. So it was all of the vocal modules have been designed to enable you to be able to rap as part of your assessment. So if you say, right, okay, you have to pick your repertoire that you're going to do for your assessment, you can do a track that's rapping. That's absolutely fine. We will obviously encourage you to learn and develop singing techniques whilst you're with us, because singing and rapping technique, breathing, that sort of stuff is relevant in both ways. And, you know, as you hear from quite a lot of people, I think possibly Kanye West probably could have done with a few singing lessons, but he loves to sing. So we also encourage our rappers to develop confidence in terms of singing melodies and that sort of stuff. So we'll get you to explore those areas in the same way that with other singers we'll get them to explore different genres, but we'll also support you and encourage you to do a lot of your work in terms of rapping and developing your rapping skills as well.
100%. Do you know what? Funny enough, I think a really good example is Childish Gambino, who was originally more of a rapper, but obviously a great vocalist as well. And then you can see how a track can be changed change from quite a soulful kind of R&B to a stripped back acoustic, you know, because the song is there. The song is great. It doesn't really matter the style. So yeah, we welcome all different sort of backgrounds, is what I would say.
I should mention also, in terms of your audition itself, obviously we have one track that we set, you pick from a list, and also one track that you can pick. The track you pick can be a rap track, and then in terms of the list that we give you, I think at least one of those tracks, both for high-pitched vocals and low-pitched vocals, are rap-based with a bit of singing in them as well.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if that's your bag, you can still apply. We're still looking for you as a vocalist.
Absolutely. Just have a bit of a follow-up from Officially TZ to Grace, in fact. They say, I'm a nervous soul in regards to vocally performing in front of people. Other than relaxing environment, is there anything else that helped you with the anxiety? Oh, it's a good question.
Ooh, that's a great question. I think, and this might be a really random answer, but almost giving myself permission and feeling like I do deserve to be here, and actually just saying to myself, I am a beginner. I might make mistakes. But that sort of self-talk, because I think we're all so critical of ourselves at times, and if you are applying to something like this, it can feel so daunting. But I just sort of gave myself permission to be a beginner. That helped. I think being prepared, you know, coming to class every week and really utilising the lecturers and going home and practising, and also like with you'll make friends, you know, and you can all get together and practice, and that sort of support made me feel more relaxed and more supported. But yeah, I mean, I would just say do it. take a leap and do it, because if I can go from not being able to sing in front of anybody 2 years ago and then be here, I really believe anyone can.
100%.
So yeah,
That's a great answer. And one thing that I just wanted to stress as well is that we don't expect you to be a professional at this level. So if you don't get put off. Like, Grace is obviously an amazing performer and things like that, but she didn't start like that. She had to obviously learn these things as well. No offense, but but that's kind of why we're here. You wouldn't need us if you were already an absolute pro. So don't worry. It's all about building up the confidence, building up the experience, closing any gaps in your knowledge, and picking up a load of new skill sets. So yeah, we got a couple of questions that sort of lead on from that, just around the audition process in particular. Alex, probably a good one for you as well. So yeah, Officially's asking about the audition song list. Do you have kind of an idea, maybe not all of them, because I think there's about 20, but just like the different sort of styles that we cover?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we tried to pick some sort of more pop songs, say, from a female perspective. There's things like Adele, Someone Like You, but there's some more upbeat stuff. We do Symphony, the Clean Bandit, there's Stormzy's Crown, there's Squad by Nadia Rose, but there's also things like, I think it's Lithium, Nirvana as well. Yeah. So what we've done, there's also a couple of classics. I think there's Heard It Through the Grapevine and Natural Woman as well. So we're trying to sort of make it as appealing to as many people as possible. And now obviously there's so many genres of music that we can't hit everything, but we've tried, if you're interested in a certain genre of music, you should find something in there. And if it's not at the right register for you, you can get in touch with us. We can transpose it for you as well. So you can sing. It doesn't matter if it's not quite your register. You can sing that repertoire if it works for you.
That's great. And then I believe the second track is dealer's choice, right? It's the applicant can just pick any song they want.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we'd recommend you pick something that shows off what you can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, pick anything you like that tells us about your skills, what makes you tick as a performer, and something you like singing. Definitely.
How about originals? Can they submit originals as well?
You can, yeah. We often ask you if it's possible for you to send us some sort of recording of the original, so we know what it is that you're actually trying to sing. But yeah, by all means, sing us an original song. That's absolutely fine.
Brilliant. Grace, do you remember which songs you picked?
Yeah, I picked, I think the one from school was Happy by Pharrell.
Oh, great.
And then my choice was My Future by Billie Eilish.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, nice range there. Really, really great choices. Brilliant. I've got a question here from Gifu Boy asking about the audition again. They're asking, do they need to come into the campus to audition, or can they do it remotely?
We used to run all of the auditions on campus, and that's where I first met Grace, in the auditions. But actually now we do most of our auditions remotely. So what we ask you to do is create a video of both of your pieces back to back, non-edited, and then send that in to us. There is more information on the website that goes through all of the audition process and all of the songs and things like that. You can also access as well. That's on our website. But yeah, a video is absolutely fine. Just make sure it's one single recording of you singing both pieces live to camera.
Yeah, that's great. Just for anyone who is interested in applying, normally what we would do is just get your application to us first of all. Then our admissions team will get back in touch with more information about the actual audition itself. We'll give you time to prepare, so don't worry if you're not ready immediately. Just get the application to us. We'll let you know more about how you can apply. We've got a handy video that Alex did previously, just explaining a bit more about the whole process. Great stuff. So I got a question here from Larissa. Is asking, is the course suitable for very advanced singers? It sounds like she's been doing private tuition for over 10 years. And a follow-up asking about specific vocal techniques, particularly CVT and E-still, which I would admit I do not know what they are, but I think Alex probably will.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, contemporary vocal techniques, CVT or S-still, are just two different schools and methodologies of learning or teaching singing. We don't teach a specific school of singing methodology here. All of our teachers have different expertise in different areas, so we try and expose our students to as many different techniques as possible, rather than focusing on one individual technique. In terms of it being suitable for very advanced singers, absolutely. I mean, the actual vocal modules that you do are only say a portion of the overall modules. You do 18 modules in total, 3 of which are specifically vocal modules. You may find, for example, that vocal performance in level 4 is kind of rehashing and re-going over quite a lot of stuff that you would know, but that would be the same for somebody who joined the course who's super advanced at Logic and then has to do music production. It's going to be a lot of stuff that they already know. We have to do this. It's absolutely standard for degrees to make sure that everyone's at the same level. So you'll still get something out of it because your one-to-one and your feedback will be based on your skill level and the type of repertoire you're working on, and you'll obviously get specific and hopefully informative feedback based on that. And then obviously when you look at live vocal techniques and particularly showcase, it's up to you to determine the level and style of the repertoire that you're doing. And both of those modules also incorporate, as I mentioned before, elements of understanding the technology and process behind gigs, or the sort of logistics behind events management and promotion, as well as actually doing performances themselves. So whilst they are performance modules, there's a lot more in them as well. So I think, yeah, you could still get a lot out of it. And actually all of the things that you do in production and composition, all those things hopefully would be what would be really super helpful to you. We do get some students who are very advanced vocally, but feel that it's the other areas that they need to develop, whilst also wanting to keep their toe in and still doing vocal performance. And so that's a perfectly valid sort of route to take as well with our course.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you very much indeed, Alex. I think that is just about all the time that we have for our Q&A, but if you do have any other questions, just get in touch with us on the contact form. We'd be very happy to answer anything else that you want to know. Just a reminder, we are still reviewing applications for both our April and our September term. Don't forget about the UCAS deadline next week. Don't miss out. Get your application to us as soon as you can. We'll let you know much more about the audition process. Can't wait to hear your audition tapes. And yeah, as I say, if you want to come in to check out the facilities in person, make sure you check out our open days and studio tours that we have basically every week. It'd be great to meet you and show you around, let you know a little bit more about what we do. But for now, I just wanted to wrap up by saying a huge thanks to Alex. Thank you so much for telling us much more about the course itself. Hopefully it's been really enlightening. To the production team, Stan, Barney, Luke behind the scenes, thank you very much for helping put this together. Most importantly, Grace, thank you so much for your performance. It was absolutely excellent, really enjoyed it. And yeah, let us know when the EP is out and we will let all of our viewers know all about it. But yeah, just before we wrap up, one of the ways that we really like to be kind of judged as a school and an institution is about what our students do and go out and make massive waves in the industry. And we're in a lucky position that a lot of them have gone on to do some really fantastic things. So we've got a little show reel that I wanted to play just to give you an idea of what you can kind of achieve if you do decide to come and study with us. So for now, we look forward to hearing from you in the near future, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Ain't nobody loves me better, makes me happy, makes me feel this way.
I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her.
Just noise, white noise. Just noise, white noise. I'm hearing static, you're like an automatic. You just wanna keep me on repeat and hear me crying. Get out right now, it's the end of you and me. It's too late, and I can't wait for you to be gone. Take me.
Everybody feel it come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Every feel it come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you.
Everybody feel it come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with round.
Everybody in the pump. Everybody in the pump. Everybody in the pump. Everybody in the pump.
Everybody feel it come around with round.